like you can't play out what the picture shows you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's like if I were to explain it a little bit better, it's like you can take a picture, but it doesn't show you the entire surrounding. So I feel like, oh, let me put the link over here. Give me a second, y'all. I feel like anybody that mentions that there's a fourth boat, it's like, bro, there was over 20 boats. You understand me? There was over 20 boats in that area or wherever they were all at. Um, there's a video that confirms that you could count. There's over 20 boats in that area. Um, what else I was gonna say? Basically, like I wouldn't focus too much on. I mean, obviously, yeah, you have to check any like any close boat that you can identify and everything else, right? Um, but what I'm saying is, if you focus on how would a criminal think or act, right? If you start thinking like a criminal, well, I need to save that for later. Sorry. Um, we're gonna also try to take a look here at a TikTok video. Problem is that there's not gonna be audio because I'm not using Chrome. So StreamYard doesn't allow me to share with audio if it's not on Chrome. But it's okay, don't worry about that part. So here's the deal. If if I committed the crime, if somebody committed the crime, what is the best thing that you can do? If you have too many witnesses, right? Say for instance, there, because people are mentioning fourth boat, boat X, yada yada yada. Listen, if there was 20 boats around and there was over 100 people, let's just give a number. It's just an estimate, right? Over 100 people there. Why would I allow witnesses to see me and another person dump a body? Why would I do that? You understand me? Why would I allow over 100 people that's around see me and another person dump a body and leave? I wouldn't. Once I realize that somebody's unconscious, I'm getting the fuck out of there one way or the other, right? Most likely, I gotta bring them with me. Regardless, you gotta bring the body with you. What you decide to do after, if you don't get a medical treatment, whatever the case may be, that's your fault. But to take a look at this, take a look at this, because I was, and the video that I did today in the live, I was like, the captain. If they don't want to call him a captain, I understand perfectly fine. But the operator of that boat needs to be certified. A boating education certificate shows that the operator understands navigation, gear, and laws. It places full legal responsibility on the operator for the passengers, implying strict rules for passenger life jackets, seating limits, behavior, and the supervision to minors. You understand me? That's why they should be charging that guy. They should be charging whoever was operating the boats. Simple as that, right? They don't do that. And this lady, which I'm going to show you guys right now, you guys can go to her TikTok. Shout out to her and shout out to this other guy who's sharing her content. So shout out to Big Zoe TV. I don't know if that is the guy. The guy. Kind of weird to have that kind of YouTube name for a guy, but this other lady called J Megan Nerdy Pink Panda One, and she has pretty much shared a lot of detail, but the scariest detail in all of this, which you guys probably already know if you've been following and you've been really digging deep into this situation, it's the fact that I don't know if it's Bart or who it is, but one of their grandfathers was uh, was in politics. So she has that information. See, I was watching this guy, and he's breaking it down, and she's cooking. You know what she says in this video? I'm about to show you guys real quick because I'm using the other thing to the StreamYard. You know what she says in this video? That the security, get this, right? This is the craziest part. This is why we need to talk about this every day. This is not about clicks. This is not about views. This is none of that shit. This is about justice. She said that the video of the morning, the security monitor, was able to see Nolan Wells leave from that place, right? Like they got him on footage, apparently getting on the boat, whatever the case may be, right? But that they don't have footage for the afternoon, or they don't have footage of the evening or when they came back of the boat. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit, yo? They made the fucking recording disappear. These people are so tight that they make that security footage disappear.
With them when they left. So why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night?
See, they had the security footage of the morning, but not the night, apparently, right? I'm about to show you guys real quick what she's saying right here. George Pitalo Sr. Apparently, he's a family member, somebody here. Pharmacy, let me see. She got all this info.
Grandparents live there?
Watch.
So why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night? Whose grandparents live there? Jax Pitalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Pitalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to him. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor. Look.
Y'all see this shit, man?
So somebody's family got connections in the government for sure, like for sure. And then she goes even deeper. You know how we Google, we look on social media and shit? She went even deeper and decided to go on LinkedIn. This girl went on LinkedIn
See how
to
when
find out
you put these things together, everything just lines up.
that
It just
someone used to
lines up
work
and it
for
just
him.
smells
Watch, let me
bad.
see
It
who it is.
smells
I forgot
bad,
who she said.
disgusting. It just reeks. You know what I mean? All these connections, all these people involved. This is
Yo, she broke it down. Like, I don't know what made her look through LinkedIn, but that was so smart of her. Here we go.
Then in 2018 were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations. So now we know why the governor got involved. They started looking into the lawyer that's handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015,
Yeah, there we go. The lawyer that's trying to basically handle the entire defamation bullshit with everybody. Apparently, he worked with.
to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit, and Americans for
man, the plot just thickens, man. Man, what?
Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're fucking evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point
So
USA?
he
Major
worked for
donors
one of
the
the Koch brothers.
also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement?
They all connected, yo. They all connected. They all trying to cover up. And they paying people to say shit like that Don Lemon guy. That guy's a lemon. Don Lemon is a real lemon. A rotten one. Because how you gonna go back on your word, or how you gonna start saying that an audio is fake? That didn't make any sense. But she clearly didn't just look on Facebook or wherever the fuck she could find information. She went all the way to LinkedIn to find network. And oh man, that's hilarious. That's crazy. But as I stated again, man, I stated yesterday, there's different reasons why most likely they did take the body with them. Again, if you have a lot of people around you and you're scared, you want to get the fuck out of there. Um, you don't want to have witnesses see you dump a body with a person or whatever, or leave a body somewhere. That wouldn't make sense. And then on top of that, to dump the body later down the road, that's something that anybody has probably done with a vehicle, with a car, which is, hey, let's get rid of this evidence, let's switch cars, let's put it in that vehicle, and let's go ahead and deal with it later down the road, or as soon as possible, whatever the case may be. And money, money talk, bullshit walk. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Um, I tell you, man, the reason I don't want people to get all crazy and start mentioning like all these other things and make it even messier is because even though the FBI want to they say they get involved or whatever. You never know if they just decide to just like ignore this shit and not do nothing about it. If it's that messy. But honestly, I think that they should be able to get enough information. I just think that the fastest way to do that is you hit people with conspiracy for lying. One, two, you charge the whoever is driving the boat that was responsible for the passengers, and you're gonna get a snitch. Somebody's gonna say something. If Nolan Wells was knocked out, right? They were drinking beer. Beer comes in glass bottles, whether it's wine, hard liquor, or beer. You take your pick in alcohol. They all come in glass bottles. He could have got hit in the back of the head with any of that. Apparently there was a fight. Apparently somebody on the internet decided to write a short story about a fight, and that apparently they left, or they all this other stuff. You know, it's it's a mystery that everybody's lying about right now. They know what happened, but they're not telling the truth. And everything is recorded on that call. If that call is legit, right? They do that in court, bro. You should be able to charge people with conspiracy. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And then you find your snitch, right? Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Federal government. Everybody's supposed to be getting hit with a conspiracy right now. I'm saying? And then you get your answer. You're gonna find your snitch. Everybody doesn't want to go to jail. Don't nobody want to do time in prison because they lied to a cop on a criminal investigation. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of nasty shit happening, man. Somebody said all the stories don't make sense, right? The biggest one that wouldn't make sense is if anyone says for how for whatever reason that they saw Nolan Wells after 4:30 or whenever the CTO call was made. Anybody that says that they saw him after that is a liar. And it's very simple because a person can't go out without their smartphone. Nobody can go out without their smartphone. So if he ran into anyone, listen, if I ran into anyone that I didn't leave my phone with, the first thing I'm doing is calling my phone or calling somebody's number that I know that should have my phone and telling them, yo, I need my phone back. I'm at such a, where you at? I'm at such and such. I need my phone back. So anybody saying that they saw him after that is a complete liar. That's off that you can't even write that, bro. That person should be really be taken serious to, you know, charge him with conspiracy like ASAP. There's no way that you saw him after that 4 o'clock, 4:30 phone call to the CETO. No way. And he didn't have his phone. The first thing that we can't be without is a smartphone. All the contacts are there. GPS is on there. Our favorite applications are on there. Our bank is on there. So anybody saying, yo, they should be questioned again. Anybody that said that they saw him after that, they should be questioned again and again. But yeah, man, I think that they took him with them. Y'all seen that them GPS coordinates? They moved all over. They probably switched them, whatever the case may be. And you know what's funny? If you look it up, it says that a park ranger. Listen to this, right? A park ranger, or whatever the case may be, is the one that found them at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8:40 in the morning. So anybody could have dropped them off at 5, is what you're telling me, right? Or overnight between 2 and 5, between 2 and 6. Is that what y'all telling me? That somebody could have dropped them off between 2 and 6 on July 6th near Horn Island? Because y'all found, if you look it up, it says that they found them at 8:40, and it wasn't Coast Guard. It wasn't. It wasn't Coast Guard. That's the craziest part. National Park Service. The body was discovered face down in the water by a National Park Service ranger slash agent. Man, this shit's crazy, man. Look at, I want to see the, look at this GPS, yo. This is crazy, yo. This GPS makes no sense at all whatsoever.
Point slide that we saw there that mapped out all of the points. So I decided to overlay those Google points on top of the points of the research that I'd already been doing. I discovered some interesting stuff because if they were just overlaying it on Google Earth, it should have been easy as cake, right? Well, I cannot tell you how many hours I spent trying to perfectly overlay this. Like, look at the islands in the middle here.
Or
I
even,
get them
say for
lined up.
instance, right? Say for instance, during the process of them taking off and taking off slow and not fast, right? And then, because apparently on the, the GPS log information, it tells you that they were going faster and all this other stuff. So if they didn't put them in a different boat and then dumped them, what if they just got rid of the body, between that time when they were going slow? They made sure that, at long vision, as far as they could see, nobody could see them. get rid of the body, and then go at full speed. Right? That's another theory. But
And then other
regardless,
things won't match up.
I don't know, man. I doubt. I highly doubt that they would leave his body unconscious at the island. Like, it's weird. Especially if people's around. If no one's around, then you know. But if there was other boats around, like obviously, in that one video shows like 20 boats. Everybody there partying.
Like you'll notice, like I said, these islands, look, they aren't moving, but everything else around it isn't working. So right away, my instincts are telling me that somebody manipulated this image to cover something up. Of course, that is alleged. I can't prove that, but you know, it's supposed to just overlay. So honestly, I just did the best I could, and I mostly just focused on the top half, trying to get like the marina and the grandparents' house they went to all line up. So now we can really follow which way this boat was driving and the kind of stops it seemed to be making. And if you'll notice here, it goes right next to that marina that I was telling you guys about with the Marty McGrath, which is who, according to Katie, that she got a ride from. So they passed the marina, as you can see, it juts out, almost like it was pulling up to this dock. And then there's these two houses here, especially this house, where it seems like the boat pulled into the docks there. Then it went all the way down here. There's a little like lock area here, so you have to go through here. And it went to the bridge. And I was like, why did they go all the way to the bridge to turn around? But it turns out right here is a big old fishing pier. Then right next to that is the Ocean Springs Yacht Club. And a lot of these families are connected to the yacht club. But before I go on, I want to play a portion of this audio that's supposedly
It's
like a
always like
voicemail that has been going around. It has been authenticated, but it has important information. Because I'll be honest, it sounds genuine to me, and it works with my data. So hold on.
Yeah, man, them GPS coordinates are crazy, huh? That shit make no sense, right? It's crazy. Yeah, man. I hope whoever's in here continue doing what I'm doing. Everybody need to keep pushing the algorithm, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to get to the bottom of this ASAP. We ain't trying to hear that this shit gonna get solved 5, 10, 20 years from now. You know what I'm saying? When their grandfather's probably like, you know, upset at their grandson or some shit and he finally snitched or some shit. Or like on his last lung and shit or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We need justice tomorrow, ASAP. Well, tomorrow is today is what I meant. Today already. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. I ain't sleep yet. But I was thinking, if you think they sucker punched them and where they jumped them, hit on the back though, like that's corny. And I don't like the way they did this investigation, yo. This shit is corny as fuck, yo. The the results that they giving us and all this other bullshit, yo. That shit's crazy. Like I don't understand it, yo. Like how did we get here? Knowing that there's laws, I'm gonna put this back up. knowing that there are laws that protected that child's life that day. Whoever was driving the boat that picked them up, whatever the case may be, they need to be charged. They need to be charged. Knowing that there's laws. Let me show you guys real quick. So when I went live, and what I've been saying since I heard this shit, since I heard this case, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on? Why they haven't arrested nobody?" Because technically, that's how you're gonna get you're gonna get people talking and telling me the truth. I was like, that shit make no sense. It is what it is. But man, that's my 30 minutes on it. We gotta keep it going. If y'all viewing it, go ahead and start y'all live. Y'all gotta speak up on it. Everybody gotta speak up on it. Keep doing the lives, y'all. Keep bringing it up. Keep talking about it because this shit needs this shit needs to end here. You know what I'm saying? Peace.